It is just after midnight on deadline day, and Leeds United have announced that they have lost Luis Sinisterra at the last minute in a deal sheet, and Jadon Anthony in from Bournemouth on the opposite direction. Now, how exactly did this happen with Luis Sinisterra being a fundamental part of Daniel Farke's squad? Well, you can find out by watching this video. The first step in the process was the pre-deadline rumours. Now, a couple of days ago now, I heard some rumours that a couple of Premier League clubs were sniffing around Luis Sinisterra, potentially interested in a move. Now, I thought that the interest would have been rebuked and Leeds would have said, no, let's not do that, and the only club I'd heard was Crystal Palace. At this point, Bournemouth didn't seem to be in the conversation. Then came the next day, when there was training at Thorpe Arch. This was on Friday, when the squad came in, did a little bit of match preparation for the game against Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend, and Daniel Farke had his press conference. Farke didn't mention anything about this in his press conference, said that his squad was complete and he didn't think there'd be any changes, but he couldn't be 100% sure. Luis Sinisterra was seen leaving the training ground, and he reportedly said to some kids that were waiting for his autograph and some adults that were with them that he wasn't leaving. However, this was followed very, very closely by the Romano tweet. In this one, he stated that an agreement had been reached for Luis Sinisterra to go to Bournemouth on loan. Now, this was immediately followed up by Phil Hay and Graham Smith just sort of having a bit of a retort and saying, no, that's not what we're hearing. There's plenty of interest from Bournemouth, but there's also interest from other clubs. There's nothing agreed at any point from anyone. Now, it turns out what had happened was a few weeks ago, Sinisterra was annoyed that Leeds United had seemingly gone against the spirit of a clause in his contract, where if relegated, he was allowed to leave. Leeds thought they were in the right and the timing was a little bit wrong, but eventually Leeds United folded and let a little bit of interest happen. Then came the long wait, in which Luis Sinisterra went down south to London to do his medical, passed his medical, and then headed to Bournemouth. In that time, there wasn't that much news escaping, so Leeds fans didn't know what was happening at all. We were just feeding on scraps. A lot of the stream that I did throughout deadline day was a matter of what's happening with Luis Sinisterra, we don't know, and checking various in the knows and forums just to see if we knew absolutely anything at all. A little bit past 11 o'clock, beyond the deadline, it was discovered that there was a deal sheet for Luis Sinisterra's move to Bournemouth. Now, a deal sheet is a document that clubs send to the Premier League or their respective leagues, such as La Liga, I don't know if the EFL do them, to state that there is a deal agreed in principle. Now, we've not been able to do all of the paperwork. Can we have 2 hours to do it? This doesn't 100% mean that a move has been done. This simply means that there is a move approximately agreed. It can still fall apart from this point. Now, here in the deal, we still don't know what's happening. Leeds United fans are still completely in the dark, don't know whether it's a loan, whether it's permanent, whether Leeds will get Jadon Anthony coming the other way. Eventually, it turns out to be a season-long loan for both players after we get confirmation, with Anthony coming to Leeds and Sinisterra going to Bournemouth. Now, ultimately, how did Leeds United lose Sinisterra? They got relegated and had a clause in the contract that was a little bit daft and let him leave on loan. Leeds United have now filled, I think, all of their loan spots for the season. And yeah, the nightmare of a transfer window can end. There was a big period in the middle where it looked absolutely incredible. If we would have kept Luis Sinisterra, it would have been fantastic. By a left-back, fantastic. Maybe Jadon Anthony can be a brilliant player for Leeds United, but we don't know that. All we know is Luis Sinisterra was fantastic. He was too good for the Championship. He deserves to play in the Premier League, but yeah, not at Leeds United. So if we do get promoted, will there be any bad blood when Luis Sinisterra returns? We don't know. Might be a Jack Harrison situation where he's not necessarily forced to move, but who knows. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go to bed and rest my throat because I've been speaking for the last 5 hours. Comment your thoughts on the situation, like the video, and subscribe. It's hugely appreciated. I will see you later.